Hey guys, my name's Lauren and I'm 30 years old. When I first met Alex, I didn't meet him in person. I actually met him over the phone when he cold called me. And for me, I'm not a huge fan of being cold called. I'll answer my phone and I'll be pleasant, but I really don't enjoy it. And so I sort of begrudgingly decided to go to this training session that he offered me. And I thought, what have I got to lose? I am really struggling at the moment. I'm struggling to move. I feel like I'm a young woman in a body that's 30 years older than it should be. And so for me, that phone call was what I needed to boost me and to kickstart change in my life, in my wellness and my health. I'm the type of person that loves physical activity. I love team sports and participating in all kinds of physical activity like bushwalking and bike riding and stuff like that. And there was a point at which I was struggling to even, stand up off the ground. And it was at that point which I realized that, I needed change in my life. And it was at that point that I also felt a deep sense of shame that I'd let myself get to that point. And so I was already struggling with depression and anxiety, and that just added a further burden onto my life, was to, not only be struggling emotionally, but to be struggling physically as well. Over the last few years, going through depression has meant that my lifestyle has dramatically changed. I lost the energy to cook. I lost the energy to get out of bed in the morning. I lost the energy to go for a walk, and the motivation to be able to do that. It's been tough, and even just making these changes again, making my life better, that's been tough as well. It's been a struggle, and often you see the mountain before you and you think, I can't climb that mountain, that is too high. While you're climbing it, you're like, this is exhausting. But when you get there, when you get to that top of that mountain and you take in the view and you realize that it was all worth the climb, that's the moment where you realize, I can do this. And that's the moment where you want to keep doing it. And you learn for next time that, this does work. This is beneficial to me. All this hard work is for something, is for a reward of some kind. In my life, I've had to make lifestyle changes. I've had to make sacrifices, and I've had to make investments of my time and my money to be able to restore myself to a level of health that sees me being able to achieve all that I'm meant to achieve in my life. Some of the lifestyle changes include cooking. So when I first started with Alex, I wasn't actually cooking. I was, I was just ordering meals from takeaway, and I really didn't have a lot of time to prepare meals. And I'd almost forgotten how to cook. It was that bad. I love cooking, and so for me to actually be able to start cooking again has been really life-giving for me. To be able to spend the time doing what I need to do to look after myself has been really important. And so it's been a great lesson in self-care and a great lesson in just taking time out to look after yourself. One of the main things that I've discovered in this journey is around wellness and what that means to me. And so for me, as a spiritual person, as a person of faith, it's important for me to be spiritually well, but I also recognize that it's important for me to be emotionally well, and it's also important for me to be physically well. And that, these things aren't separate from one another, but they're all inclusive, that my physical health feeds into my spiritual health, and my emotional health feeds into my physical health, and vice versa, and it's all interlinked. And that's been really important learning for me over the last couple of years. Training has helped me with my depression. It's helped me with my self-esteem, and I'm really grateful to be feeling better and to be better. I found it fascinating how the food that I eat affects the way that I feel, and it's been interesting learning from Alex, his own knowledge in this area, and experimenting in my own life and seeing how, how that knowledge of food and nutrition relates to me and relates to my lifestyle and relates to my own body and the way that my body processes things. Over my journey, I've lost quite a lot of weight, and for me it's really hard to accept that that's a good thing, to accept that that's an amazing thing. I'm really hard on myself, and I have these really high expectations of myself, but I'm starting to appreciate how far I've come. And for me, the biggest weight that I've lost isn't the weight that I've lost physically. It's the burden that's been over my shoulders, the burden and the shame of not being able to live my life the way that I need to live my life because I'm not physically able to. And so to be able to physically achieve all that I need to achieve is such a great feeling for me. Some of the things that I love about training with Alex is that he's tough but not too tough. He takes into consideration where I'm at that day and how much training I feel like doing physically and how much training I feel like doing emotionally as well. Other things that I really enjoy about training with Alex is the variety that he gives me, and it's also the humour and the mateship along the way that really helps training to be an enjoyable thing and not a job or a task that I have to do, but it's something that I want to go and do at the end of a hard day, or something that I want to do at the beginning of a day. Yeah, it's really good. There's probably a whole lot more I could say, but I think what I want to end with is that this opportunity to train and to discover myself and to discover my own limits and to discover how much weight I could lift, for example. The opportunity to be able to do this and to train with Alex has given me the skills that I need as I move in my life and as I move on to different things. It's given me the skills I need, it's given me the habits that I need to implement in my life to live a healthy life and to live a full life. I am very grateful that I took up the opportunity. I am very grateful that I answered that cold call and that I went to that first interview and I went to that first training session. I wouldn't change it for the world. I think probably one of the best things about having Alex as my trainer is that he is always available if I need to ask him a question. He's always willing to support me in any way that I need, and I'm incredibly grateful for that, and I found it very beneficial to be able to have him as a reference point when I've needed that.